Read.
This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, this so-called white man. That's why the so-called white man put up the picture of Caesar Borgia during the Renaissance period. That's how that picture was created, okay? This the picture was put up of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ during the Renaissance period. That's how Caesar Borgia's face got up, because the Borgia family was the first royal family. They was one of the first ones ruling at the time, and they tried to put their picture up as who the world calls Jesus Christ.
The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
He covered the Lord's face. Every so-called Negro or Latino's house you go in, even my people, so-called Native Americans, and you go in that house, you see Caesar Borgia in their house. That's their favorite picture, Caesar Borgia. And it doesn't even, and Esau put up this stuff because they know that our people don't read. That's why knowledge is power, man. The Bible even says that, man. You gotta read, man. You gotta study. You gotta be like, you gotta ask yourself questions.
You gotta question everything.
You gotta question everything. A man questions everything. You know, if somebody tells you something that don't sound right, go back, look at even what we saying. Go back, look it up, make sure it's accurate. You don't just listen to somebody on the street because it sounds pretty. You listen to what they say. Okay, well, let me look that up for myself. I hear what you're saying. Let me look that up for myself. If that sounds good, hey, I'll continue following. I gotta see how the spirit goes with me. You got when I first
question. Can you give me your interpretation of heaven and hell?
Our interpretation of heaven and hell. All right. Well, what is?
Not from the book, but from.
Nah, because this is the thing, because like we've been asked that question before, and it always tries to slip away from the scriptures. That's all our answers come from the scriptures. Now, as far as
that's
exactly,
what I'm saying.
But this is where it comes down to, because we're gonna answer with the scriptures, and that's the answer. Hell is right here. Hell is the grave.
hell is on earth.
Okay, when you go into the scriptures itself, when it speaks about hell, it's not talking about some place that you burn on the ground if you don't repent. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a scripture on that. Hell is what we're going through. Like they say, the white man's heaven is the black man's hell, so to speak. Okay, heaven is rulership. That's what heaven means. Hell is captivity. If you're a slave, okay, you're not running around free. And what's another thing for being slaves? You got the dead mentality. You don't have life. Okay, you're in the grave. So when I'm gonna go to the scripture in Jonah to show you right now that hell ain't talking about some place on the ground that you burn forever.
Break it down, make it plain.
And that's what the scriptures say to do. You know, make it plain upon the tables. This is the book of Jonah. You familiar with Jonah? Okay, he was swallowed up by the fish.
Yes.
All right, well, if you go into the Holy Bible, that's what we're reading out of. This is the second chapter of the book of Jonah, verse 1. Okay, Jonah, basically just a quick synopsis of it. The first chapter, the whole book is basically about the servant of the Lord that didn't want to do the will of the Father.
Right.
So then he got on the ship and tried to sail away. Okay, and the Lord has something for him. All right, he's like, all right, you want to be rebellious? You want to be a hardhead? All right, I got something for you. He got tossed off the ship that he was on, and a great fish swallowed him up. All right, and this is what he had to say. This is the book of Jonah, chapter 2, verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord his God out of the fish's belly, and said, I cried by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me. Out of the belly of hell cried I. See? Because people think about hell in the form of Greek mythology. And that's why the scriptures also say, beware of Jewish fables. Okay? We're not up here teaching what they tell you inside the churches, that all happy, everyone's going to join hand in hands. Nah, we coming to you with the scriptures. Okay? There's no place in the scriptures that says if you're not right in the eyes of the Lord, you're going to burn forever.
Right.
Here it is. That word hell, like the brother was mentioning, you got to study. Exactly, it's a condition. And really, in this condition, you can imagine, like, whether or not you believe in this man being swallowed up by a fish. Okay, there's actual, like, cases where that's happened in modern times. You got big ass whales. You got fish that's so big underneath the waters of the depths of the sea that the so-called white man can't go down there. The pressure is so deep. Okay, but all in all, the reason why I'm speaking about this is because when people think about hell, they think about some place you burn. But here it is, Jonah was swallowed up in a fish's belly. And he said, out of the belly of hell cried I. Because when you go into that word hell in the Hebrew, okay, the true Hebrew, not that stuff that them gutter rats with them yarmulkes on their head.
Yeah.
Nah, that's some bullshit that they speak. when you go into the true Hebrew, that word hell is sha'awar, and it means to break.